Hi and welcome to this lesson where we're going to introduce you to how to arrange a beat pattern using the 909s that we programmed in the last lesson. What we're going to do is we're going to break down each individual drum sound and then we're going to layer it out across the screen in the arrangement view so that we can start to build a little track. We're going to base this on the late 80s, early 90s sort of house production techniques which are still relevant today in the lo-fi house scene. So the same techniques apply, we're using the same drum patterns. But we're just going to do it in a traditional standard way using the classic 909 sets. So the first thing what we want to do is we're going to change it to 125 just to pitch it up a bit. You don't have to, you can leave it at 120, you can have it at 130, it's entirely up to you. But for the purposes of this I just want it a little bit faster. Because we're only working with the beats, we're not going to have any music in the background on top of the beats, so it does sound a little slow if you're playing just the beats. So first thing we need to do is we need to rename the top one. So the first thing we need to do is we need to duplicate our channel, like so. I'm going to get rid of all these other channels underneath because we don't need them. And on this one, I want you to rename the second one hi-hats. Okay. And then I want you to duplicate it again. And then we're going to rename this clap. And then we'll duplicate it again. Duplicate it again. And again. And again, and again. I think we're going to do it about 8 times. I'm just double check. The best way to do this actually is to double click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just need 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's get rid of that last one and that one. Okay, so we've got on the top one. I want you to name that kick, hi-hats, clap. Then name that one snare. Name this one ride cymbals. Name this one rim shot. And then we do need another one, so let's duplicate that again and call the bottom one crash. Okay. There, we've got all the channels we need. What we need to do is we need to recolor them. So I'm just going to recolor these. Okay, now that that's done, what we need to start doing is deleting certain sounds from each individual track. So we double click onto the kick one. And we open that up and we're going to delete everything except the kick, like so. And that leaves us just with the kick on that channel. And the same from this one, delete everything except the hi-hats. So we're just leaving those 3 in the middle. And then this one is the clap. So we'll get rid of everything except the clap. And then that way we've broke each individual drum sound down into its own. Same for this one, snare. Delete all them. Ride cymbals, so we delete everything at the bottom. Rim shot, everything except the rim, which is the second one up. And then this one, which is the crash, so we delete everything except one note. So we've got a note to play with here. Just extend that, pull that down to the C sharp, which is this one. And you've got that sound there. Okay, so now everything is broken down onto its own individual track. Perfect. Right, now we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is we broke those down and all we need to do is just start arranging them. So we're going to take the hi-hats first and we're going to put the hi-hats and the claps across like this. And we're going to copy them again like that. And then we're going to copy a kick over like this. And then what we need to do is we need to open our hi-hat up and shorten it just for the length of the note so we don't have all this extra screen stuff over here so we can see where we are with the crash. And we're going to put a crash in there as the kick comes in. So technically we've got this loop here, 32 bar loop here. And then the crash comes in with the kick. So we copy that over again like so. Put that in there. And then we can introduce the snare, which is here. put in another clap here like this. Okay, so we've got the snare over, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a crash there like this, and then we're going to bring in the ride cymbals across like that. Put 2 ride cymbals over and copy those over like so, and keep that pattern going. So it goes like this. You can build up now. So copy the crash over. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, before we do a little snare roll here with the claps and the snare, we'll bring over the rim shot and put it just there like that, and just with the ride cymbals, so the rides and the rims and the crash are going to go there. So all we've got is this basically pattern here. And there we have it. It breaks down to just the ride and the rim shot. And then we're going to put in a clap with the rim. And we're going to build it back up. But basically this lesson is all about just getting the beats broken down into individual sounds and transferred into individual tracks so that we can manipulate them how we want to individually. So you should have basic hi-hats and claps together, followed by the kick and the crash, then the snare, then the ride. So that's the basic breakdown of how to arrange a beat and how to make a track with an introduction, with a beat as an introduction. So you break down individual sounds and start to add them and build them up and layer them as you go along. So imagine here you can have a bass line or a high string or a vocal chopped up or something. It's going to come in and give it the effect it desires. Okay, so what we need to do now before we continue is we need to do some snare rolls. And what we're going to do, and we're going to put some different crashes in as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this snare here, double click on this. And at the end here, we've got one that rolls over like that. I'm going to shorten that. Okay, because it's going to clash with this one. Or you can just drag this one across over. So here, look, on the number 7 mark here, we're going to have the snare. We're going to delete those last few. And then down here, we're going to do a faster little snare roll here like this. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. It's going to go like this, look. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And it's going to play like this. And then it's going to get faster here. We're going to half that, the size of that, like this. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And we're going to experiment with it slightly, so it goes like this. And then carry it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's right, like that. Like so. What we need to do is repeat that pattern on the claps, but only here. We're not going to fill this area like we have with the snare. We're going to leave that bit, the snare, as it is, like this. And then there, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and a 4. There we go, like this, look. And that's just a basic little clap beat that with, you know, a little clap snare. So we'll copy that over to that one and copy that over to that one. And we could actually change the colour of those so you know that they are different to the default clap and snare setting. And what we're going to do here is we're going to open the snare like this. And as you can see where it changes here. So we're going to grab one of the crashers. Okay. And we're going to start shortening these. We're going to put in a crash there. 1, 2, 1, half that, 2, 3, and 4, like this up. And then there, actually, we need to half that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 2 that are halved, and then 4 that are shortened again even further, like this. And then we'll copy all of those over and put that in place exactly there. And that's it. That's the basic intro beat. So all we've done there is we've created a house beat that is in the traditional styles from the late 80s to the early 90s using the 909 drum pattern within Ableton. We've just broken down the individual sounds, so now that we've got our drums, we can start layering the track by doing different things like putting bass lines on and so forth. So I'm going to take this over to the next lesson and then we're going to develop this even further. So you should have had all of these things now in place. Okay, so now what we've got is we need to head over to the next lesson where we're going to start developing the bass line and going through different bass line techniques from classic house records and ones that they would have used back in the day. Thank you for watching and goodbye.